Hello everybody. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Real Tarot 1123. I hope all of you are doing very well. I'm trying to get a hold of my cards over here. This is actually going to be for this video is going to be for my series. And this is going to be, why is my computer all crooked? Well, there we go. There. This is going to be for my series, and it is the Wicked Wednesday series. But I'm not doing the usual, on Wicked Wednesdays, how I make videos with regards to people who are, the criminals, right? I'm not doing that today. I figured I'd do something a little bit different. But anyway, keeping within the what's the word? The realm of wicked, if you will. So I have decided to do a reading for Ayn Rand. Okay, she's the famous author who wrote some way out there books, that, for a lot of time, a lot of people were like, oh, this is all crazy, spooky stuff. And then there was another faction of society or avid readers who thought her books were the bomb.com, that sort of a stuff. Now, personally, have I read her books? Yes, I have. Atlas Shrugged, etc. But I couldn't tell you I remember every single bit of that book or any of her other books that I have read. It was years ago, and I wouldn't mind reading them again, because I remember enjoying those books. So it's been a while. I mean, so I can't recollect every bit of it and say, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. But I did read those books, and I thought they were simply fantastic. I found them to be very, very interesting, very exciting when I did read them. I must say, though, I want to go back and read some of those books that I really, really enjoyed. So anyway, that's another thing. So let's get on with this. I was actually thinking I should do Ayn Rand, and then I was like, no, let me do Alfred Hitchcock, and then I went back and forth. So I'm going to do Ayn Rand, and maybe later in the day I'll record another video for Alfred Hitchcock, and I might post that as well. So we'll see. Or maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I don't know. But look out for it. It is coming. So Ayn Rand was born on February 2nd, 1905 in Russia. And she went by the name, or a name given to her at birth was Alisa, Alisa Zinovievna Rosenbaum. And then, of course, she moved to America, and she was, for the longest time, she went by the name Alice O'Connor, and her pen name or whatever is Ayn Rand, Aynrand. I think Ayn Rand is a very, very unusual name as opposed to Alice O'Connor or Alisa Zinovievna Rosenbaum. I'm not disrespecting any of those names. I'm just saying Ayn Rand is obviously something that makes you wonder, is this a male, is this a female, that sort of a thing. And I do believe, my recollection of her books, etc., she was one of those people who thought beyond gender, if I'm not mistaken. So it kind of makes you think. I mean, I do believe she was born way ahead of her time. So that was very, I did enjoy her books. So and watch, all the crazies are going to come out of the woodwork and say, oh, you enjoyed a book, so you must be a devil worshipper too. It blows my mind. I have to laugh at it. I mean, granted, sometimes it kind of bothers me. I remember, this is a bit of a rant, okay? So I remember I had posted a couple of videos where I was wearing black, and for a couple of days I was, not the same outfit, but wearing black. And some ding-dong, ding-along, or ding-dang, ding-a-lang, I don't know, kept messaging me every time I posted those videos, saying things like, oh, you must have, are you a devil worshiper? No, what did she say? She or he, I don't know. Do you belong to any satanic cult? And that's it, that one sentence. And I was like, what? So I kind of disregarded it, and I thought, okay, another cuckoo person, whatever, like, it was just, so out of the blue. So I disregarded it. I didn't respond to the email. And then it so happened that a couple of days later, when I was scrolling through my emails, usually when I'm done reading them, I flag them, and I have my own system of, whatever. So I went back and I saw this. I said, how come this email doesn't have a flag on it? Green, red, yellow, whatever. And I read the email again and I said, okay. So I emailed and I said, why do you ask? Again, one sentence. And then I get back this long thing saying that, oh, I noticed you wear a lot of black and this and that, and the picture behind you, that lion picture I had, which I have to put back. It's all black. So I wondered if you, and I think I had black nail polish too, or something close to black. I think it is a dark maroon, something like that, but looked black or something like that. I think back to back two of my manicures, I decided to go for darker colors or something to that effect. And then she goes, I noticed, so I wonder if you are you belong to any satanic cult, and if so, which one? So I responded back to her and I said, FYI. So this is the way I look at things, okay? So hear me out. So I think those who follow the satanic path, if you will, or whatever, to them that's their religion, right? Okay. I think it is their religion. That's how they look at it. I do believe religion, politics, parenting, these are very personal and private things. I don't think any one of us has a right to ask anybody else. And why? What does it matter? How does it matter? What your political leanings are, or what does it matter? Anyway, I'm of a different thought process. So I said, even if I did belong to a satanic cult, I wouldn't be disclosing any of that to you. It's none of your business or anybody's business, unless and until I choose to disclose it to the public. Just because you ask, you think I'm going to tell you, and I said no. And then I said, well, thank you for asking, but anywho. And then she responded, he, I assume it's a she, responded back, well, I don't know why I keep saying she, so maybe it is a she. In all honesty, with the email, I couldn't tell what gender this individual is. I still have the email though. And then this person responded back and said, I have to go back. I can't believe you're a satanic, you belong to a satanic cult, and I have to go back and watch all of your videos. And, literally, and that, that emoji. Y'all, I kind of flipped. I was like, who the hell is this idiot? So I responded back and I said, I assume you never wear black. And then I said, I assume you go to a hair salon or a barber shop to get your hair cut. Take a good look and see what color clothing they're wearing. Okay, traditionally, they all wear black. You go to a store like where they sell makeup, or these big these clothing stores and retailers, most of those people dress in black for whatever reason. So does that mean to say everybody belongs to a satanic cult? It's the most bizarre, asinine as F, you know what I mean, kind of a statement. There's a possibility this individual was trying to kind of just scratch up some trouble, because we know there are psychos like that. And I forgot all about it. And the next thing I know, this person has actually commented on one of those videos with the same thing. I have to go back and see which one of those videos. And I think shortly after that or something, I had also done this video about that artist, whatever her name is. And there's this big accusation that she belongs to a satanic cult, or she worships the Satan or whatever. And I had said in that statement, I don't think she worships the Satan. She's had some bizarre artworks, but that doesn't mean she's like, we can't just assume. And those are the idiots. Yes, I use the term idiots. You know what they do? They don't know who I'm doing a reading for. They go online and they Google it. And then the first thing that pops up on Google is whatever salacious thing that is out there. And for this artist, the first thing that pops up on Google, which I did research after that, I was like, why is she going on and on about? The first thing that pops up is some news article or some magazine. Somebody had written that the journalist asked her if she was a Satanist. So that's the most salacious thing, right? So that pops up. And the more you look into that, by default of whatever, analytics, that keeps popping up again every time you look at that person's profile, right? And I was like, you ding dong, ding along, you clearly don't know who it is. You just go to Google and that's the first thing that comes on it. You pick on that and you say, yeah. And then you come onto my channel and act like you know everything about this person. And I'm like, are you freaking serious? So, that we know a lot of people who do that. They don't know, anything about 2 bits about the person I'm reading, but they just go and pick on whatever, general research on. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, Google is there to give you, information. So, or Google or Yahoo or whichever search engine. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong in looking up for information. I do too. That's not what I meant. What I'm saying is just picking the first thing that pops without even reading the whole article, for example, or thinking it through, why are they saying this? What are they saying this? What are they accusing this person of? Just come here and pretend like they know everything about that individual is the most asinine thing. But anywho, I'm going to stop because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are going to be, yeah, Kirtana, I know those kind of people. And there are other people who are going to be going and hiding and say, oh, shoot, she called me out. So anyway, let's take a look at Ayn Rand. Now, I did do some stuff, my usual workings behind the scenes. I'm actually going to go, there's a lot of synchronicity between her, 6th house. Wait a second, 6th house. If she's an Aquarius, what is her 6th house? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th house is Cancer. Interesting. Yeah, I wrote it down here already. So if you go by her birth name, she and the country that she was born in, although I don't know which city or which state in Russia, she vibrates to, or rather her 6th house is active. If you go by Alice O'Connor, her 7th house is active. So if she's a Aquarius, 7th house would be 1, 2, 3, 4, Leo. And if you go by Ayn Rand, her 5th house is accented. That is Gemini. Very interesting, right? It's seriously very interesting. Let me make a note of this because I'm going to look into all of that. So 6th house is Cancer, right? And Gemini is 5th house, correct? So if she's an Aquarius, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th house is Leo. Okay. So we are going to take a look at all of this and see what comes up. There we go, 12 minutes into this and still haven't gotten into the reading. So let's get some overall energy cards and let's take a quick look at this. So we have Jupiter. By the way, her 11th house is Sagittarius. Okay. Taurus, I'm not surprised. Wait a second. Taurus is a 4th house, okay. And then we got the Sun card. Very interesting. Saturn, not surprised. Followed by Mercury, not surprised at all. So I'm just going to I got so many things on my desk, y'all. It's not even funny. I got the project that I'm working on and doing some charts for some people. So all my stuff is out. And I'm like, oh my God, whatever. So let's take a look. All right. I'm going to do my inverted pyramid and see how that comes out. We have the Tower card, not at all surprised, right? We have the Empress. And we have the Emperor. Wow, that is so cool. Both of them pop out. Interesting. Very strong energies. Okay, so this is telling me that for her, it was all about breaking the norm, I wouldn't say so much as breaking gender rules, but let's back up because I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So Jupiter, rules Sagittarius and rules Pisces. Now, Sagittarius is her 11th house, which talks about like-minded people, groups, and friends. And then Jupiter also rules Pisces, which is her 2nd house, which talks about values, talents, possessions, and all that stuff. Now, Taurus, as we know, is her fourth house. Fourth house is emotions, home, mother, family roots. The sun, obviously, is Leo. So she was a Aquarius. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh house. I don't see seventh house as much active, but we'll take it. Sun is the father, or the seventh house. In her case, friends, marriage, partners, contracts, and relationships. And then you have Saturn. As we know, Saturn rules Capricorn, and Saturn also rules Aquarius. And Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury rules Virgo. Now, Gemini is her fifth house, and Virgo, eighth house. So fifth and eighth house again. So fifth house talks about speculation, love affairs. Eighth house, the occult. Okay, I'm going to stop because it gets very, very complicated. People will go, well, I looked at a chart. These were not our houses. Yeah, my calculations are different. Take it or leave it. This is the way I do my stuff. So with Jupiter, there's a lot of expansion. Okay, there's a lot of expansion. There's a lot of conflict between what, in her opinion, did gender roles mean? Identity. How do you identify yourself? Does one have to identify oneself via their gender or by their gender? How else can you identify yourself? This person, brilliant, I'll tell you that, not just because I've read her books, but clearly she is brilliant, very mercurial in her energies, very quick to think. And for her, it wasn't that any specific thing was set in stone. She didn't accept anything to be as, oh, because so-and-so said it, and because this is the way we've looked at it, and so it shall be. She wasn't like that. She was all about thinking, analyzing, thinking, trying to figure out, why should it be like this? Why can't it be something else? You know, that kind of an individual, always thinking outside the box. And keep in mind, Aquarius ruled by Saturn and Uranus. It's all about, Saturn is restriction, Uranus is sudden shocks and changes. So it's like when you change, you have changed after a lot of deep thinking and a lot of contemplation. So let me kind of tie it up. In her formative years, she could have been very much restricted in the way she was brought up, very restricted in the way, you know, what are the norms, what's normal, how should one think, why is one thinking like that, why is this way, you know, very set, strict rules and guidelines, like thinking, you have to think within the box, you cannot think outside the box. So in other words, her life was trajectory was predetermined, predestined. You're a girl, this is how you should be. If you're a boy, this is how you should be. This is how things are done, and that's that. So a lot of restrictions. There was always that very innate urge in her to constantly change, to recreate, to want to have that like shock people, right, into thinking differently, if that's what she needs to do. She thrived in that. Even as a child, I'm going to say, she is the kind of a person who, let's imagine this scenario. She's sitting, I mean, of course she was born, when was she born? In 1905, so way back when, right? So if she, imagine her as a 6, 7, 8-year-old child sitting with her parents, and they're all talking about something, and maybe dad said something, and this little child would come out and say, well, that's not right, why can't it be like this? And, you know, I'm sure the parents would have stopped and looked at her going, did she really say that? And they might have reprimanded her, or they might have said, child, you can't think like that, depending on what kind of parents she had. I don't know, wasn't there, didn't see it. But this is just a scenario that I'm seeing, right? And she gets emotional saying that, but why can't it be like that? Why does it have to be like this? Why? You know, and being kind of sort of traumatized by that, because for her, even as a young child, thinking outside the box, that's the way her mind was wired. I mean, everything was wired differently. So it was always trying to push the envelope, but not in a negative way, not in a destructive way, not in an evil way, pushing the envelope to see what else was there. Why should this limit us? How do we know that this is all that there is? Isn't there more to it? So always thinking outside the box might have gotten her into a lot of trouble growing up as a young child. And having said that, brilliant person, very smart, very intelligent, could have also scared people away from her. So for her, finding her own close group of people, finding her social support group that she felt comfortable in, that she could relax and let her hair down and not feel like she was judged because she was cuckoo or something, was a little difficult for her. She did go through her periods of, does anybody understand me? Do these people really get me? And there's also another aspect to her character, where not her character, her life, I would say, where people might have, because she always thought so much outside the block, because there were no boundaries. When I say no boundaries, everybody has boundaries, right? Whatever our boundaries are. For some it may be there, for some it may be here, some here. You know what I mean? But as much as she might have come across as having no boundaries, there were those who tried to take advantage of her, okay? Even as far as sexual exploitation is concerned, thinking that, oh, she has no boundaries, so we can do this and that to her. There was a brief period of time where I believe she might have had some conflicts as far as that is concerned, because at the end of the day, for her, it was all about think outside the box. Oh my God, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I hate when that happens. It's like when, oh my God. So for her, it was all about, as much as I want to think out of the box and explore and break the norm and break the rules and boundaries, there are certain things that I'm not comfortable with, which is taboo to me. So she too might have had her own certain little restrictions or limitations, or she wasn't comfortable delving into anything further than that. So when certain people saw that side, they were like, oh, you're all fake, you're all this, and you just put on the show. But they didn't understand that as much as she was the way out there kind of a person, she too had her limits. Everybody does. So that could have caused some sort of I don't want to use a devastating, but kind of almost destructive kind of a situation with regards to her emotions, also her family roots. And this kind of a mindset and thought process of her could have alienated her mother, because, be the typical feminine female, take care, this, that. A mother didn't quite understand what was going on with this child. There could have been a little bit of that dynamic going on. And then we have the Sun card. The Sun card is talking about clarity, having the ability to build the confidence and gain the confidence, and knowing with clarity, knowing with absolute conviction and confidence that the way you think, the way you are wired, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, because she wasn't creating any harm to anybody. She wasn't going around killing people or slaughtering people. So it was almost like a moment of that light going on and saying, yes, like, this aspect of her, the female, the Empress aspect of her, absolutely, as much as you think outside the box, doesn't make you any less of a woman than you are, and more power to you, because she has completely embraced the feminine aspect of herself. As we all know, there are a lot of yin and yang, male and female, your soft, sensitive female side as opposed to the more masculine. We all have traits in our characters, in our mental makeup, in our spiritual makeup, where it's a blending of the male and female essences, right? If you know what I mean. So, and then you have the Emperor over here, right under Saturn. So I want to say, even though she might have had slightly different, or her mom might have felt a little let down by her, for the most part, I would say she was closer to her mom than her father. Then I'm also going to say, with the Emperor card right under Saturn, she did, so if we talk about the male and female within her, the feminine aspect of her was quite obviously prominent. The male aspect of her psyche, if you will, right? I'm not talking about the body or sexual, orientation. That's not what I'm talking about. She did feel that would be more restricting if she explored that avenue of her psyche, would, by some bizarre twisted whatever, impose restrictions on the feminine aspect of her psyche, Do you get what I mean? So she did go through a brief period of time where she did try to subdue that. Look, we all have the male and female, right? I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the way our bodies are. I'm not talking about the physical self. Are we male? Are we female? That's not what I'm talking about. I hope you get it. Okay, I'm not going to explain that any further. So she did feel that by focusing more on the masculine aspect of her character, her nature, her psyche, her spirit, that would in turn dampen or override the feminine side of her character, her nature, her psyche, her spirit. So she did have some conflict in trying to balance that. But I also feel Saturn, typically the father, restrictions, and then you have the Emperor card. I think the father did cause some restrictions in her life, or she felt restricted by her father. She also might have felt restricted by any heterosexual relationships that she might have had. Any male who was in her life, I don't know how many times she was married, how many, whatever. She might have felt that she might have loved them, she might have had successful marriages, but she felt that there was no need to give up herself, give up her power, give away her power to a man, not because she was a feminist, but because why? In her eyes, she didn't see one gender being any better than the other. It was all equal, right? Because as twisted as it sounds, it was almost we are genderless. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope I'm not confusing y'all. Because that's the way she thought about it. I mean, because the moment you put, I'm going to stop because I'm going into a completely different thingy and that will confuse everybody and people will go, Kirtana, what are you talking about? Just tell us about Ayn Rand. So here we go. Let's get into the main part of the reading. So, and she was very mercurial. She did have the ability to adapt. That's the one thing about Ayn Rand. Her ability to adapt to situations and things. Okay? Her ability to oh my God, excuse me, y'all. God. Her ability, it was very windy outside earlier and I'd taken my Mr. Snore-a-lot or Sir Snore-a-lot as they call him. Snore-a-lot. Grunt-a-lot. Yeah, he does all of that. And the wind was kicking up. I was like, yeah, welcome to my world. So very mercurial, very easy to change, very quick in her decisions, and also very adaptable. That's the fantastic thing. She was very, very adaptable. And then you have Jupiter on one side and then you have Mercury on the other side, and it goes, her ability to adapt was so immense that a lot of people didn't understand how in God's name did this woman, was she able to do that? Like, she was so flexible, and so flexible as in her ability to understand and process and accept. Just a cool person. I would love to have met her. I mean, that would have been so awesome, man. Really brilliant. I mean, looking at her card, she's just something else altogether. Okay. See, with Scorpio being her 10th house, right? 10th house talks about career, reputation, morals, and life goals. She has had quite a few times when she's had to reinvent her career, right? Scorpio is ruled by Mars and it talks about regeneration. So she was not afraid to pursue what she thought that she believed in and what she was passionate about as far as her career is concerned. Then she has Sagittarius, okay, in her 11th house, like-minded people, groups, and friends. She did, after a certain period of time, I believe, have or was able to maintain a certain group of friends who thought the world of her. But those limited, it's not like she had, we talk about acquaintances, we talk about friends, and we talk about real true friends. Those real true friends were a very few people that she was able to explore this sort of thinking outside of a box type of a thing, people of the same mindset. And Leo is a 7th house. I'm not surprised that the Sun card popped out. So Leo talks about friends, marriage, partners. 7th card, friends, marriage, partners, contracts, and relationships. Whatever relationship she entered, as an adult, she practically dominated the relationship. Not because she was like, I'm the man, I'm going to wear the pants in the family. Not that. Just her spirit, her nature, her character, she just dominated the relationships. So then we have the 5 of Wands pop up. I'm using a really different set of cards, y'all. This will be more appropriate for Halloween's, but I was like, and I was actually going to use this for Alfred Hitchcock because he did all the spooky movies, but I decided to do her reading. So, anyhow, this is the one. What is it even called? The Shadowland Tarot. Anyway, so you have the Five of Wands. There were a lot of obstacles and challenges for her as far as her young life was concerned, and even as an adult, because people were constantly challenging her thought process. They were constantly challenging the way, what does this book mean? What, why are you writing this? Oh, this might be because you are like this. You are constant challenges. And I'll tell you one more thing. It wasn't just challenges coming from the outside. She was constantly challenging herself too. Y'all, I'm feeling her energy. It's so like, I don't know. It's just fantastic energy. Anyway, and then we have the Strength card, which is 8. Now, here's the thing. Now, remember her 7th house is Leo, correct? Based on what I'm seeing here. And then you have the Strength card, which is again the Sun card. The Sun rules Leo. And the Strength card, what does it say? In the traditional tarot, it talks about use your head, not your heart, that type of a thing. Have your fortitude, hold your power, stand in your power. She never had a problem with that. She never questioned her power. She never questioned herself. But I will tell you though, as much as she may come across as being, thinking outside the box, and which for the most part people think it's just being analytical. If you're analytical, they say that you're lacking emotions. In my opinion, that's a complete opposite. But for her, it's almost like she was of the thought process of, if your head thinks something and your heart thinks something, that's fine, but don't hit your heart on its head. You know what I mean? Like that. So there was that balance. There was also a very, very nice, softer side to her nature, which was very loving, very protective of the people who, her family, her loved ones, very, very protective, her group of friends. She really, really did and then you have the King of Cups. Now I'm going to put some, oh my God, this deck is so used, y'all. Look at this card. See, can you see that? It's fraying at the ends. Oh my God, I gotta get a new deck. I can't believe I've used it so much. It's like well used and much loved. So we have the King of Cups. I'm going to pull a couple more over there and see what's going on. And then we have the Star card, Aquarius. Clearly, she's showing up in her own thingy, right? And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Now, wow, isn't this cool? So we pick up at the King of Cups, right? The King of Cups, as we all know, talks about, the cups, it's empathy, it's emotions, it's sentimentalism, romanticism, it's social, it's spiritual. And King, you would attribute it to a male, right? So this is talking about somebody who was very good at hiding his or her feelings, right? Look at that, hiding his or her feelings and walking away from it. But on the other hand, I'm going to say, the way I look at this card is, she felt she was the kind of a person who had the knack and the ability to express her feelings better in her work through her words than if you had a conversation with her. Penmanship. She was really able to tap into her knowledge, her mind, her whatever, and express herself best when she was writing, not so much as when she was speaking, right? And then you have the Star card. Now, the Star card, as we know, is an Aquarius card, and it talks about inspirations, etc., and also having the unexpected support from whoever, unexpected. So I do believe this King of Cups could also be somebody who she leaned on to be her emotional rock, her emotional support. And that was also an individual or a source of inspiration for her. And her goal, and she thought very highly of this individual, and that hope that she could continue on that relationship was always there. Like whoever this individual is, I don't know how many times she's married. I didn't look up to see that and what their sun signs or star signs were. I don't know. But there is one individual over here who she who really meant a lot to her, who was a hope, her inspiration, her rock, her source of comfort, where she was able to fill up her spiritual, emotional cup, that sort of a thing. And then you have the Page of Pentacles. Look at this card. This is so cool. Okay. So she did have the patience, she did have the ability, she did have the focus to always uh, come up with a new plan, a new idea, a new creation that would bring her the wealth. But having said that, this is also telling me that when she came up with any writings, a new novel, a new book, whatever that may be, it was almost like it was such a journey for her that it almost affected her health, not just like depleted or drained her spiritual energy or her talent as a writer or whatever, but it took a toll on her mind, body, and spirit. It really did. So she would oftentimes wonder, is it worth it? Is it all this success and monetary whatever, is it worth all the toll that is taken on my psyche, on my spirit, on my body, on my mind, etc.? She has on many a time thought about this. I'm starting a new project, am I willing to sacrifice this and this for that? Because she knew how much it would take out of her. Do you get what I'm saying? So she has gone through some of those little moments of contemplation, deep thinking, etc. This woman is just phenomenal. I truly wish I had the honor and the pleasure of meeting her. I mean, this is somebody who I seriously would have loved to meet. Just an unbelievable, amazing, just to sit and pick her brains, although I don't know if I'd be successful doing that, but we have the Four of Swords. See, that's what I'm saying. After that, doing a book or coming out with a project or a work, she always felt completely depleted. She always also felt a part of her died, because it was like, I've bared my soul and now everybody knows. So it's like that part of her has been put to rest. Right? And she would seriously, it would completely drain her of all her energy. And she would feel sad, because it's like, okay, a part of me has come to an end. There's a small part of me died by writing out that book or whatever. That's how she would think. This is just incredible. I mean, I'm just so into this. And then you have the Three of Pentacles. But there was a lot of cooperation. There was a lot of support. There was a lot of people around her who were supporting her, etc. And yes, it was all for the sake of money. Look, at the end of it all, y'all, let's face it, it's business. Publishing, writing a book, being number one in the bestseller, etc. However that works, I don't know. It's all about money. Yes, she did have a circle of support. Yes, she did have people who understood her work, and they were like, this is bomb.com, let's go and publish it. But there were few and far between. So she did have a struggle in terms of finding publishers or whoever who accepted her work, because they themselves couldn't understand it. And no offense meant, okay, look, God knows, okay, I mean, there's a lot in this universe that I don't know. I'm very much aware of it. But just because I don't know that, does it make me any less intelligent than another person? So let's not judge people. Because you don't know doesn't mean that you're not smart enough. You don't know because you haven't been exposed to that kind of a realm or a world, and so you lack knowledge, or you've never delved into it because you weren't interested in it. But having said that, it's not about the IQ level. A lot of these people in the publishing world, they felt diminished, okay, intellectually, because of her writing and the way out, far out type of thinking she had. And so therefore they would just shoot it down. And that's the sad part, because it's the ego that steps in there. So for her to find a publisher or an editor who really believed in her, had to be somebody who was really confident, really smart, and really understood, and also thought outside the box. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. Of course you do. You're the real family. You know what I'm saying even before I say, you know what I'm going to say even before I say it. Y'all can read my mind, right? All right, let's go. And then we have the Three of Wands. That's fantastic. Look at that. The three is popping up now. We went from the Four of Swords to the Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands. And then we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, and then I'm going to pull one more. And then we have the Ten of Wands. Okay, let's take the Three of Wands. There was a lot of lot of teamwork, commerce expansion. Let's look at this. How do these projects work? Let's go further out. Let's delve further out. Ayn Rand, is this all you got? I mean, do you have anything else? Like, always, I believe the group of people who she ended up with as her publishers, a close knit group of people, they were constantly also pushing her in a good way, in a positive way, because they knew how much more this woman had in her to be able to put out there in terms of her books or material. And they were always so supportive of her, but they were also at the same time pushing her to travel further into the depths of her psyche and to bring out those works. Okay, and she did have a great group of people. They would always expand, let's go, let's do this, and what about this, what about that. There was a lot of traveling. Now, traveling could be physical travel. It could also be traveling as far as the psyche is concerned, right? So there was always pushing the envelope of traveling further, delving further into the realms of what's hidden in our mind, right? I mean, do we ever know everything, right? No, we don't. Then we have the Knight of Cups. Now, the Knight of Cups talks about a new, younger energy, and I do believe this is an individual. So I don't know whether this is a son, or whether she was in a relationship with somebody who was much younger than her. But whatever that is, that relationship, that connection made her feel, with the Ten of Wands, very, very burdened. It really weighed very, oh, you look at that. I'm going to say it was more a younger person, as in a love, because it's got the heart over here, and then it's got the little apple over there. So I do believe this might have been kind of for lack of a better term, in those days, it might have been looked upon as an illicit relationship. Remember, she was born in 1905. I'm sure in those days, even though they were people with what are they talking, spring, winter, or spring, summer relationships, or whatever they call it. I'm sure they had a lot of those. You go back in history, you see these kings marrying much younger women and whatever. Anyway, so I think this was construed to be a illicit relationship, and I think that weighed heavily on her, because she was like, how do I do it? I really do want this person, care for this person, but how do I do it? And also like a newfound love that was very, oh my God, I so want to meet her. She's so cool, man. I mean, think about it, y'all, those days. Even now, we are in 2022, if like a 50-year-old guy ends up getting married to a 30-year-old woman, people don't kind of react as strongly as if a 50-year-old woman were to end up marrying a 30-year-old guy. Then everybody's all up in arms. It's like, oh my God, It's the weirdest thing, isn't it? I mean, first and foremost, it's nobody's business. I mean, if they are happy with each other, then hey, you can go boink all day for all I care, good for you. But why, even these days, as much as we are so-called apparently progressed as human beings, we still raise our eyebrows when we see, an older woman with a younger guy, more than we would if we see an older guy with a younger woman. It's the weirdest thing. I don't get it. But anyhow, none of my business. But I always say, hey man, I mean, unless of course it's clearly some old guy with a young teenager, and there's something funny going on there, it kind of makes you wonder, or vice versa, it makes you wonder what the hell is going on there, right? So, but we can get into that another time. All right. And then we have the Fool card. Look, this is fantastic. So the Fool card is telling me is, as much as she was burdened by that relationship, or burdened by the way people were judging her, she really wanted to, she was willing to give her all to just be free and able to love and be loved and enjoy the relationship for what it is, because she's like, why should I be restricted? This is an adventure. I just want to be free of the restrictions that society has put on us. And then again, who is society to determine what's right or wrong for me? Like, don't you think that's true? Like, well, here, I'm not talking about, if you decide to go, if some ding dong ding along decides to go off and like we saw that big subway shooting in somewhere New York or wherever, right? Yeah, society determines that that is wrong. Yes, because it has caused harm to somebody. We know that. That's not what I'm talking about. In terms of your personal choices, your preferences, like, how you're oriented, or you identify yourself, you may be born female but want to be identified as a male or whatever. That's none of our business. I don't want to get into it. I always say, look, if it makes you happy, it's not harming me, it's not hurting me, you do you, boo. I mean, honestly, I don't give a flying fiddlestick for that. But having said that, how can we determine? But then again, I'm going to say this. If it's going to be some guy who was on the swim team and didn't even hit the 200th spot, but decided to call himself a female and join the women's team, and all of a sudden he's won, then I'm going to be like, dude, that's not an even fair playing ground. But on the other hand, should we still be talking genders? Like somebody said, why don't we have like the men's, group competing in sports, the women's group competing in sports, and let's have another group where whatever gender you are, you can all come and compete here. That kind of makes sense, right? To find a happy medium. But that's never ending, y'all. That's never ending, absolutely. But who is society to put limitations on us in terms of who we choose to live with, who we choose to love, how we choose to dress, and that's what I'm talking about. So don't get your knickers in a twist. Oh my God, Kirtana, I didn't know you were like this. You were extreme left or extreme right. Seriously, what is extreme left and what is extreme right? I don't know. I'm just me, y'all. That's all I can say. With my allergies and my runny nose and my dog who's constantly snoring and snorting and dreams. Oh my goodness. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. Fantastic. That's him. Boo. What's wrong? Huh? Are you just an old man making old man noises? Oh my goodness, dog. So we have Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles does talk about giving and receiving help. So it does, like, what's the price to pay for this new adventure? What is the price I need to pay to be able to go off and live my life the way I see fit, live my life, have the relationship who I want to have my relationship with the way I see fit? What is the price to pay? Give and take. This is, yes, it's generosity, giving and receiving help, monetary, etc., etc. But then again, what was it going to cost her financially? How was it going to affect her as she was writing all these books that were way way ahead of her times, and then she's also having these relationships, if she was, based on my cards at least, with somebody much younger. It's like so revolutionary, where people are going to just stop reading her books. How is it going to affect her life? That too is a very, very... it's natural to worry about that, because that was her sustenance. That was what paid the bills and put food on the table and a roof over her head. So you will be concerned, right? So, when we talk about cancel culture now, I guarantee even way back then they had cancel. Bernard, for real, I'm trying to do a video here. Oh my goodness. Boy, you are just too much, kid. Let me tell you that. And then we have the World card. Oh my gosh. I almost want to stop reading because this is fantastic. This card tells me that it was all a completion, coming together. She felt that whatever this relationship was, not traumatic, as stressful as she might have felt, because on the one hand, she didn't give a flying flip about what people thought. But on the other hand, there was that. Remember, I said everybody has their limitations, right? She also wanted to belong, right? So that might have caused a little bit of stress. And for her, with the World card, what does the World card say? The World card talks about completion, success through spiritual rebirth. She did feel complete with this individual. That individual did make her feel complete, whoever this individual was. This is one heck of a lady, man. I'll tell you that. One heck of a lady. One heck of an individual. Then we have the Justice card. Now, the Justice card is Libra. It's all about making decisions, right? Now, let's see where Libra is. She's an Aquarius, correct? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9th house. Travel, higher education, intellect, her father. It was also with Libra, we talk about not just making decisions and court and this, that, and the other, but it's also talking about finding the happy medium, finding the balance. Now remember, Libra is ruled by Venus, so also finding the beauty in wanting balance, okay, finding the beauty in having that balance, okay, finding a balance in everything that she had in life. It was all about that. Yes, absolutely. She was pushing the envelope. She was thinking outside the box. She was way out there, ahead of her times. Yes, all that is there. But there's also this aspect of a character where it is wanting to find the balance in her life, wanting to have the peace and calm and the equilibrium, because that's how she felt that she was able to center herself. And I think this relationship was very, very critical for her. And she did feel that this relationship brought her that balance, brought her that calm, kind of that moderation, right? Where you can kind of center yourself and then feel refreshed and go back out there. I think this relationship was very, 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 very crucial for her. Okay, I'm going to pull 2 more cards and I'm going to stop, because trust me, I can go on for another hour about Ayn Rand, and next thing you know, we'll be in a 3-hour long reading here. So we have the Moon card, okay. Then we have, these are the final cards, y'all. Queen of Swords, okay. And then I'm going to put the last one out here. And this is the 8 of Wands. Yes. Fantastic. Now, the Moon card, as we know, is ruled by the moon. The moon. It's a Pisces card. And FYI, the Empress card is ruled by Venus. I think I showed you that Empress card, the Venus, earlier. So the Moon card is Pisces. She's an Aquarius. Pisces is a second house. Values, talents, possessions, ability to earn income, etc. And then she has the Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Swords is again a very cerebral person, very sharp, right? Very quick, to the point. No hemming and hawing. No, oh, let me soften the blow. No, off with your head. I mean, that's sort of an energy I'm getting here. And then she had the 8 of Wands. So I am going to say, as far as her second house is concerned, there was there was a moment where she felt that she wasn't too sure she wanted to continue being a writer. She felt like, I'm done with it. I'm just going to stop. And with the 8 of Wands, the 8 of Wands does talk about speedy, quick action. So she was wanting to just kind of boom, stop. She was like, I'm done with writing. I don't want to write. I'm done. I want to take a step back. And the Pisces card, the Moon card, also means no. The Sun card, in my opinion, means yes. So she wanted to stop writing suddenly. For some reason, she felt that I'm done. I'm not going to write anymore. It was very quick. It was very fast. And she just decided, she woke up one day and she said, I'm not going to write anymore. And that's it. I don't know why, though. We'll pull 1 card for that. The Tower card, it came to an end. Yeah, she was like, I'm done. I'm over that. I'm over that. The Tower card is a disillusionment of a situation, a person, a relationship, a lifestyle, a way of life. This could also mean she might have passed, or she might have realized her health was deteriorating and she was like, whatever. So, but it was quick. It was quick. And then the 2 of Wands. Now, the 2 of Wands does talk about waiting to make a decision based on something she was expecting to hear. I do believe it was because her health was deteriorating. Her health was deteriorating. Ace of Wands, yes. So I do believe her health was deteriorating, and that's why she, remember I said, oh my God, this card does not want to stay. Remember I said that for her, it was all about how much it took out of her. So at a certain point, she woke up and she said, I'm done with this. It's taken too much out of me. Quick, off with his head. I'm going to stop it right now. She stopped. Quick action. And the next thing you know, you have the Tower card, which does talk about stopping because it affected her health and her psyche. And this card is also telling me she stopped because she realized she had no more joy in writing. See, writing was her solace. Writing was her comfort. She had no more joy in that. So she made a decision, and her decision was, yeah, right, Ace of Wands, I own it. I'm done. No more. It's so sad, right? When you realize that whatever you are talented and really good at, and whatever has always brought you so much joy and love and happiness and confidence and just put that smile on your face, to realize that you don't find any comfort in that anymore. It doesn't bring you any joy anymore. It's terrible. I mean, I feel terrible. How could, I mean, it's a very difficult situation. Could it be writer's block? Most probably, but then again, I don't know, what it was. But she, I think, realized that it wasn't giving her the joy that she felt, or the high that she would feel when she wrote, right? That it was like going on this journey. So anyway, I'm going to stop, or as I said, I'm going to keep rattling on. Now I'm going to put in the timestamp, like when the rant stopped. But anyway, for those of you, my subscribers, thank you so much for watching my videos, for your comments, your participation. Do give me a thumbs up, hit the bell icon, and do write your comments. I'd love to hear from you. For those of you who are just visiting, I should have put this in the intro, right? For those of you who are visiting for the first time, thank you so much for dropping by. I hope you subscribe and become a member of the Real Family. I do a lot of videos, live streams, etc. And if you're wanting a personal reading, please check the description box, my email address, my website, my blog, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that is there. I do post daily card pulls for every single day. It's on my blog and the social media accounts. And I do a lot of little other things. So if you want to be kept in the loop, go to my website. It is www.therealtarot1123.com and register as a member. No, we don't want to know your blood group, etc. We just want your email address, your name, and if you want to put your telephone number, sure. Otherwise, don't. There's even no need for that. It's not like I'm going to pick up the call and say, "Hey, Jane Doe, you're a member of my subscriber thingy." So no, I don't do that. So just your name and your email address is fine. So when I have any special videos that I want to post for my subscribers, and it's free, subscription is free, I mean membership is free, let me rephrase it, membership is free, then I will assign it to my members. That's the thing. Now I do have a subscription that is paid for, where you can subscribe for a year's worth of week ahead readings for your sign of choice or whatever you pick. And also on my website, there are different kind of readings I do, the prices, etc., what you get for the reading, how long it takes. There's a calendar. You can go and pick the date and time for your reading, make the payment. The moment you do, it's confirmed, and then we can get on. I do readings via Zoom. Now keep in mind, if anything says blocked, that means it's not available. If it's unblocked, you can pick and choose. Mostly, what am I even saying? Can I even speak? Usually on Sundays, I don't do any readings because that's the day I want just for myself. And I do a lot of my work. There are a couple of days where I block the whole day so that I can get caught up with what material I am creating to put out on my website, etc. Hope you understand. Thank you so very much. Appreciate you all. Blessed be. Have a fantastic day.